I know you're down there, decades from your glory. Centered between the cryptic three, Bermuda, your mystery awaits me. Brimming with the life you once were, named after the planet of the endless sea. Now you lie beneath the rubble, drunken with the waters of your own decree. I'm here to listen to your story, and surrender myself to the mercy of your tune. To tell the world what was, is now, the abyss of Neptune.
Abyss of Neptune is a Resident Evil style underwater survival horror game that draws influence from PT, the psychological horror game. In this game, our gameplay loop is simple. The players submerge themselves into the abyss, loots what they can, tries to find weapon upgrades, searches for any keys that they can find in a world that they don't know. They try to solve puzzles and try to survive, but survival is not easy. There's sharks and other types of wildlife, in addition to the fact that oxygen is a very limited resource in our game. Here we're going to start at a middle point in the game. At this point, the player would have already submerged under the water, and they're on top of the vessel right now. They're on their ship. Here's where they're able to kind of relax and upgrade. This should always be the breathing point for the player. They're able to review notes of things that they've collected on previous expeditions below. That will help them solve the puzzles that they didn't want to solve under the water, because when oxygen is a limited resource, why do it there? The player can also access maps and go through different types of information on the ship, as well as go ahead and upgrade their weapons and their equipment, get a larger oxygen supply, or just put things to make their weapon more efficient. In this game, similar to Resident Evil, we're not just going to create horror through the environment. No, it's going to happen through the emphasis on complex systems within our game. Between inventory management, forced map exploration to figure out the rest of the actual environment itself, a ticking time bomb, which is your oxygen supply, constantly having to take in considerations whether using your harpoon to not just try to kill but distract enemies will end up putting the player in situations where they're thinking constantly, can I make it out of here? Should I turn back now? As the player continues to proceed through the level, you end up seeing them constantly checking their oxygen levels. We try to keep this as simplistic as possible. The players already looked at notes above water and confirmed the notes down here. He remembers seeing something about how there's a door in this upcoming section, and searching around this room he was able to find a body. Now this body ended up having a key. The player is able to add that to our inventory system, and then knowing and already being through part of this area is going to go ahead and proceed forward and try to unlock the door. Also able to check the map that's being updated real time within the game. Going inside this next room, the player is finally able to experience a new area. This gets automatically updated into the player's map. The player turns off their light because they end up seeing a shark. See, the sharks are going to constantly be searching the rooms for the player itself, and they're flying AI. Now, when the player is moving around this area, they're able to interact with different aspects of the environment. They're constantly looking for upgrades. Right here, the player is able to find an upgrade, pick it up, and add it to the inventory. This is something that the player can end up using later to upgrade their weapon system and different parts of it. The player is trying to stay out of the way of the shark, and the players also turn off their light to try not to alert the shark. Checking their oxygen level, the player realizes at this point that they probably should be heading out of here. Checking the map really quick to make sure they have a sense of direction, they feel like they know another way out instead of having to go through the long, complicated hallway that they just went through. Now that the player has actually been spotted by the AI does pursue. But the AI itself, while it can be hit, is also easily distracted by sounds. By shooting harpoons behind the AI will turn around and begin to pursue the harpoon where it struck on the wall. Unfortunately, the ocean doesn't remain static, and as the player begins to come out, they see a horde of sharks. The player then immediately decides to take a different direction. They know where the cage is, it's just a matter of getting there. But will they get there?